So, growing up, I was the only kid with a VHS tape of silent films. Now, while kids at the time wanted to be rappers or athletes, I wanted to make a sequel to the first science fiction film ever made. Perhaps you've heard of it. Yeah, that one. Now, obviously, this was before I had any inkling of the enormous amount of time, money, effort, teamwork that goes into producing a film like that. But in my imagination as a boy, I scribbled out my ideas on the backside of old homework. And while I may not have realized this vision, I can still talk about it. So for the first time ever, and in celebration of 1,000 plus subscribers, here we go. So like in the original A Trip to the Moon, the capsules are shot out of an enormous cannon. In my vision, travel to the moon had become commonplace, and so the single cannon was modified into a sex shooter, sending out multitudes of travelers at a single time. The capsules themselves had less of a curvature, and they were attracted to the moon by enormous magnets. The moon itself was afforded with enormous safety glasses to prevent further eye gouging, as seen as in the original film. Now, as for the Selenites, the moon creatures themselves, I modeled them closely after the original. Look, as closely as I could discern from a blurry VHS. Look, the copies were much lower definition back then than you can find today. But noting how combustible they were, because in the film they just kind of poof in a puff of smoke every time you whack them, I did make sketches of an electrified hammer that the Voyagers would use in defense of the Selenites. So rather than just vanish in a puff of smoke, in this film would rather violently explode. I also imagined the travelers being chased by an enormous segmented moon snake, and looking back today, I'm actually pretty happy with this design. I granted it with the ability to fire shooting stars from its mouth, and the creature itself would sort of move in a bouncing motion, with mouth agape, ready to devour travelers, while each segment of the giant snake would sort of wriggle independently from the rest. I did notice a drawing here suggesting that the snake's segment might detach. I think this might have been that after chasing the travelers, the creature might smash into a mountainside or something and break into dozens of pieces, perhaps, freeing any travelers it may have eaten. Now, I did make many drawings of a Méliès-style comet. I was really enamored as a kid with this whole pinwheel-like design, and evidently I really wanted to evoke that same kind of feel. I also drew a Selenite moon cycle, which seems like it might have been an interesting idea. I was obviously much inspired by Méliès' elaborate chariots and other such vehicles in his films. As for the return to Earth, the capsules were to be collected in an enormous net towering high above the ocean. I don't remember too much about the rest of the plot, though I did sketch this flood sequence with colorful comets in the sky, suggesting that I did envision this as a film in color. I imagine this might have had something to do with a great cataclysm, maybe a planetary alignment causing great flooding across the Earth, which is a neat idea and not out of place for such a film. And that's it. I thank you all for listening to my reminiscence here. It was honestly a lot of fun digging up these old drawings. I do wonder from you all what you might think a Trip to the Moon sequel would entail. Please comment and share your ideas below. Anyway, please check out our videos presenting Méliès films, found right here on this channel. Subscribe if you have not, and stay subscribed if you have. Take care, thanks again, and until next time.